Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles. My name is Danny De Lillo. I am delighted to be joined by Yiru, who made a fantastic film, Handscape. I can't wait to show you this film and to celebrate it with Yiru. But those that haven't seen it, let's take a look at a clip. I'm delighted that we're able to make it happen. You're in New York. You're in New York City, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean,
yeah.
Like in the center of the.
Well, I'm so glad to be joined with you. You know, I've already spoken to you before about how much I love your film. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
So it's basically in contemporary Shanghai, a hard of hearing boy named Xia Qing loved contemporary dance and is very influenced by such foreign force. And he's trying to go through this ambiguous self-exploration and just to explore his own self-identity in regards to his deaf mother's opposition to his passion.
I was transfixed. Like, it was mesmerizing, and I'm so excited for you and your career, and I'm excited to see many more of your films. I really am. Like, you are the future of the industry that we need, and I'm so excited. And it literally tears me up being part of the LGBTQ plus community, having friends that are deaf, and I'm so glad you shone a light on this. This is beautiful. For you personally, where did the inspiration come for you in deciding to create this film?
I think my love for sign language developed since I was a really small child. And I know that there were deaf Chinese kids in the nursery houses. And I know that foreign people sometimes adopt Chinese deaf kids to their homes in foreign lands. But I never really know sign language, but I wanted to chat and communicate and play with the kids who have hearing impairment. So I sort of asked my classmates and have a proposal for the summer vacation, say, hey, can we sort of figure out a way to learn Chinese Sign Language, and let's just go to the nursery house together and let's see if we can really connect with a kid or two. But I think the proposal got denied either by the classmates or their parents or the instructors. So it's basically I got sort of defeated because I couldn't really find a way, and it was really frustrating. I couldn't find really a way to realize what I want to express. I just want to communicate and connect. And then it occurs to me that what happened to them, the people who don't really have the access as these children, and not with the language that they like we have, like the spoken and listening language. And not until I entered New York University to study film and television production that I realized that I could take American Sign Language as a minor. So my first step into the whole sign language field is through American Sign Language, which to me as a Chinese hearing person and a study abroad student, I found it quite odd and weird. So at first, I'm very excited to learn the sign language overall, but I was always like conflicting in my heart, and all this, why are you learning this foreign sign language? You know, you're Chinese, and why are you learning this and all that ABC? So it's it's like also censoring myself. It's like very harsh, and from all the ethical and think about all the ethics and all the reasons. But then I realized that there might not be such border and such boundary between languages. It's all science, and I cherish my own cultural identity, and I want to know Chinese Sign Language as well. It's not like I learn American Sign Language and I forget about all the communities in China, in my hometown. So that's sort of the reason why I decided to go back to my to the place I grew up, and to really learn the sign language there in the community. And then I begin to know, oh, there are all sorts of dialects, the Shanghai Sign Language, the Sign Language, and all that. Only just because I learned filmmaking and also sign language and a little bit psychology in my undergrad here in America.
Amazing. It's so amazing. I love hearing this story. I honestly, there's nothing better than hearing a filmmaker that is just, challenging themselves, learning new things, and really understanding, all these different communities and dialects, and making it part of, the place where you're from as well. It's so special. I'm still in shock that your brilliant actors have never acted before.
Yeah.
Wow. How on earth did you find them? They're amazing.
I mean, I could tell the story again and over again. I just can't get bored of telling this. So I always call like finding my main actor, I called it like serendipity. It's like pure serendipity. I volunteered at the sign language like cultural center in Shanghai, and there was one time that I was asked to take photos because I was, filmmaking major, and they thought that I could do them a favor. So I went there, bring my camera, and went there at the lobby, and I saw a young boy carrying like a board and saying, so if you want to attend the event, go up the elevator and go to which room. And I just thought, this kid's charisma and this kid's look and all that, and
Brilliant.
it's like my dream actor, but I didn't really know how to express my feelings. So I sort of used my basic Chinese language and said, thank you, and something like that. But when I reached to the event and I sort of starting to communicate with my instructors, my deaf teachers, using American Sign Language, because she knows both Chinese and American Sign Language very fluently, because she's deaf. And then the boy saw us sort of trying to communicate with our signs. I was asking my teacher, saying, I know you liked film, you filmed a lot of things before. I wonder if you can give me recommendations for young deaf or hard of hearing actors, and if not, I can actually go visit the deaf institutes in Shanghai. I'm very determined to find these and find real actors from the deaf community, but not just casting a hearing people who's like awkwardly signing. And like, oh, I know one. I really know one. So she's like, oh, he's actually here. So that's the time I realized that the boy that I really, really wanted for my film was the boy that she recommended to me. And when we exchanged our contact and that's WeChat, he said, hey, I thought your hearing was really good. And I couldn't be, I was just very excited. It's just so complex feeling, it's because I'm hearing and hard of hearing, and he thought I had very good hearing, probably indicates that he thought I was sort of hard of hearing too. And it's only because of the language that you're using, and it's only because you use the language that they're familiar with or their language that you are able to reach this. And before, during, and after my production of the film, there are a lot of people from the deaf community saying that your film is really, really inspiring, and I think you have a deaf heart. And I think that's the best compliment I could ever get from
That's amazing.
this. It's like, it's not like only making this from a hearing person's perspective. I'm actually, I only have the bone of the story because I like sign language. I want to put a part of my childhood and a part of my struggle into the story, but it's the interacting, it's the communication with the actors themselves that really give the story its flesh and blood. So I always use this as to describe my filmmaking process. It's like I couldn't take the full credit. It's only because of communicating with the community and with their contribution that makes it the film. And I know that a lot of people are really saying, okay, you're the director, so how do you come up with this? How do you come up with this? And it's just not only my thing. It's like a collaboration with these two amazing talents and with all the people from the deaf community that contributes either its sign language interpretation or its artistic sign language tutoring to each actors. It's just a, an amazing experience.
I'm so happy I'm really happy you made this film. And, I think one thing that, you hope every director has, but clearly you have it, which is an empathetic heart, to really truly, understand and learn about, other communities and challenges and all these different amazing things that you've discovered. And I think, having a background in psychology is also another wonderful thing because, you've really taken the time to understand, how we are, why we are, how we interpret things, how we understand things. And that's such an important thing as a filmmaker. So, really, really very excited from that perspective. One of the things I really enjoyed from the first shot is just how you captured in your filmmaking these amazing subtleties, like just the look at, the feel of the hands, I mean, I can't even tell you that one piece of just him painting his nails, that one nail, that was a movie in itself. It was a whole story and told so much to me and felt so much to me. And I love that you did that throughout the film. It was incredible. Was that, is that something that is important to you? Because I love these little snippets you just gave us. It told a story in itself and it didn't need dialogue at all. It just gave us a shot and I was there in that moment with that person.
I thought the painting of the nail scene was something really stuck with me when I was a child. And as a child, you don't get access to all these nail polishing stuff, but you figure that the easiest and the most accessible way to reach the concept of beauty. You want that kind of beauty. You want that beautifulness, and you want that yourself, and you don't want it with the help of other people. So you grasp the red ink pen, just started. So it's like sometimes like reaching for the beauty. You're reaching for that, the way, the method. Sometimes it's really simple, and sometimes it might be the most powerful thing. And
It was. It
yeah,
is.
and
It really is.
regarding the theme of the queerness of the film, and also about the actor, which coincidentally he's also from the LGBTQ group community himself, and he identifies with almost every aspect of the film. And he's saying that, Yiru, you really, I don't know how you made it, but you really told a story of myself. I thought it contributed, my 7 years at the girls' school in Shanghai really contributed to my first interactions with the queer communities from a quite young age. And the familiarity and all the knowledge and all the stories that are heard when you're growing up and all the friends and all the things happening around you really informs your storytelling and it informs your understanding of the concept. And it doesn't have to be that complicated and
Mhm.
doesn't need um, to be making people like having weird looks. It
Mhm.
have Sometimes it's just pure beauty. And I think that pureness in the beauty actually associates with freedom
Yeah.
because sometimes you just need to reach out your hands to the one piece of open sky, like in the ending scene. Like,
Oh,
I'm
powerful.
filming that in my grandparents' house and
Oh, wow.
little garden, not like a garden, but it's a really small, tiny
So
space
sweet. I love it.
with all the walls, but the
Yeah.
only that's a typical structure of building structure in China, in Shanghai. Typically, it's called Tianjin, and it's surrounded by three walls or four walls, and
Mhm.
it only happened on the first floor and all the open sky and that one poster and that one still picture of Xiaqing reaching out for his hand just to reach that little bit of freedom, a little bit of the beauty that he thinks. And I think that's the essence.
As I say, I watched it with my partner. We had hot tears coming down because, you know, what was wonderful, the relationship between the mother and the son in the film was very, very powerful. And, at first, you feel like, oh, this kid wants to express himself and she's angry at him. But as you grow, just like my mother was too, scared of um, she was scared of her son has already had to overcome so many obstacles. She's just scared of society and how society is going to perceive and how much more difficult it's going to be. And that it all stems from just love. And what was great is that, people can evolve, parents can evolve, and you showed nothing but love there. And you watch this throughout the film, this mother evolve and learn about herself and her son. And it was just mesmerizing at the finale. And I just want to say, like, I think every LGBT plus son, father should watch this film because it's that powerful and really can save lives. Like I'm not underestimating that. And that's how I feel in that element too.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. And I want to present a few facts that another serendipity that my main actress, is a single mother in real life, and she just echoes with so many aspects of parenting. And I think she brought her a little daughter to the not to the set but to our rehearsal process, and I would just be playing with her. She just wonderful signer and just a wonderful kid, and it was just like putting like a slice of real life into the film, making it really, really, really sincere. And when I started thinking, okay, so regarding the LGBTQ plus group, there was actually a screening that held by the Germany consulate in Shanghai.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
great.
that was also collaboration with the Shanghai Deaf Film Festival founder that I mentioned before. So they were sort of hosting this event there, and they wanted to show my film. And in the audience, there was also an organizer of the queer communities, and they were like, "Oh, we have these like little communities and little group chats that are struggling with how to tell their parents about their struggles and how to come out of the cause and all that." And they were asking me to sort of uh, give them the rights to screen the film at every of their events in the future, just to
Wow.
say that this is such an important film, and they want really almost all of them, all of the people in the community
Wow.
to see it, and I think that was not like the highlight, but it just really means a lot to me, knowing that you have made a piece that really influenced people, and to know that it's not because you made this out of the goal of influencing people. You made it because you want to showcase their language. You want to showcase the culture behind their language. You're not wanting to make the film just because I want to win awards. It's never the reason that I want to make this film. And the things that come up with this, and it's actually something that mesmerized me as well, that I know that even though it's only one short film, it can influence me a lot. And I sort of decided to not like take a pause, but I want to make myself to be calm and to gather more stuff before I make my next move. I think making this film, you need a lot of researchers, and you need to go deeper into the language to make this. And I sort of used up my experiences and my past history to make this film. So I asked myself, what are you gonna do? You have this, you have this film, but it's not enough. For me, making film is starting to become not enough for me. So that's why I'm still here studying New York and having my study at Columbia University to do the deaf and hard of hearing special education. And like I said at the beginning of the interview, it really opened the door for me because of the filmmaking. I know a lot about the deaf culture, how the deaf kids dealing with their schoolmates and all that. And it makes me realize that, hey, it's something I can really do concretely to help them in real life. It's not only because of this 2D medium. I can actually do something in real life and utilize my artistic skills and to incorporate them into my teaching.
I listen, I go as far as saying that by watching your film, I'm very excited about where filmmaking is moving. I'm so excited for your career and moving forward, because you are capturing hearts and learning at the same time, and taking the time to learn about, people and communities. And I think it's so powerful. I'm really excited for you, and you're touching many hearts. And I'm so glad. I have deaf friends also, in the LGBTQ plus community. And I know, that such great people that I've met, and that, there's a lot more challenges even within that community as well, to meet people, to date, and all those kind of things. And I'm just so proud that you put an in focus, on this great, example, this great family. And I think as well, just showing the ability to evolve as a human being, from both the son and the mother perspective. It's just a beautiful thing. I feel like I'm crying about it all over again. It's amazing. It's really exciting. I'm just curious for you, what is next for you?
Um, I was always interested in documentary, not only the fictional films. So once back in Shanghai, I got in contact with the sign language culture center, and they asked me to document a few stories that told or expressed by some deaf seniors in Shanghai. And I sort of just filmed them, interviewing them and seeing how they use these old days sign language to communicate and to tell the very interesting stories. And that's when I realized that if I don't capture them, that some language, something that if you don't capture them via this medium, via this filmmaking medium, that they will be lost. They will be gone with the aging of the seniors. They will be gone with the death of these people. And I always have an idea to go back to my hometown again, just to film their stories, just to film the deaf seniors, and to 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 account the history, because I don't think there's actually a documentary about such history regarding the deaf communities in Shanghai particularly. So I think that will be one of my projects that if I want to really commit it to it. And the other is to, like, the thing I mentioned, that I know that a lot of foreigners adopt a Chinese deaf kid, and
Mhm.
with them, some teach them actually American Sign Language as their, as their first language. So it always interests me with the dual identity and how they view themselves, how they view and their identity, and how they view the other continent, the other country that they were born in. So that's the other thing that really fascinates me. That one piece of news that occurred to me is that there were a twin brothers in China, that the younger brother was born deaf and adopted by American Sign Language interpreter, and she and her husband has been teaching the boy American Sign Language. It's all good. It's all good until the boy was diagnosed with a very rare syndrome. It's called, I think,
Mhm.
Usher's syndrome, that maybe he will turn blind in the
Oh.
future. With that knowledge in life, they contact his birth mother back in China and realized that he had a deaf brother too. But the brother was studying in a Chinese deaf institute, as far as I remember regarding the news. And that contrast and all my interest in exploring human identity, exploring cultural identity, and that all came up together. I'm, I'm really not sure if I have the courage, like currently, to just go to Seattle and just find a mother saying that I'm really curious about your thoughts about your boys, but um, as a very new teacher of the hard deaf and hard of hearing communities, and I was sort of scared to just touch upon these individual families. But I still think this is something that I'm gonna explore in a different way in the
Yes.
in
Listen, you're the perfect person. You have such an empathetic heart. You have a great way of capturing film. Like, you are the perfect person. I hope that you do that. We need filmmakers like you to have the courage to make stories like you do and like you want to do. So I'm just grateful that there are directors out there and that exist like you. So, this is exciting. So you listen, whatever you embark on next, I want to see it. New Filmmakers LA want to see it. Our audience want to see it. Please keep bringing us more. I'm so grateful that you made Handscape, and thank you. And we can, next time I'm gonna, it's amazing because one of the things I watched your film and I'm inspired to actually learn sign, and I actually started yesterday. There you go. See, you inspired me to learn sign language. That's how powerful your film is, and I'm so grateful for you, and thank you very much. And everybody, if you haven't seen Handscape, it's amazing. You have to see it. It's wonderful. And I'm very excited for your career, Yuri. This is really exciting times. I thank you.
for watching this interview, and thank you. It's just a fascinating interview. Thank you, Danny, very much.
Thank you.